Hi, it's Tim again from RAM Fibreglassing, just giving you an update on the Savage Pacific upgrade that we're doing. As you can see, we've now got the transom in. The grey you can see over the top here is a high fill primer that I've just put over the top. I will go through the specifics of the transom install in a minute, but I just want to give you an overview of what we've done. So as you see, transom's in. We've also installed a fuel filler locator, and you'll see why once we show you a picture of the tank, why we've put that in there. There used to be one located here, but we've designed and just inserted a new one to there and left the hole for the cables through there. Up the top you can also see that we've filled in the dash, and that has the grey high fill primer as well. We've gone through, sanded pretty much everywhere that needs to be flow coated at a later stage, and got our tank installed as well. So what I'll do now is I'll show you some up close footage of the areas, and we'll go through some specific areas of what we've worked on. Okay, so let's have a look at the transom on this one. So basically what we did is what you saw earlier, and that was basically removed by cutting the old transom out and leaving the hole open for us to do other work. Now that we've finished the other work in the hull, we've filled it back up obviously. What we've done is squeeze two sheets of ply together using 600 mat, and also putting a layer of 2600 on the back, and then what we do is we squeeze this front surface down onto a gel coated sheet of melamine, and that gives us a smooth surface. We then cut to size and insert from the back, and what happens then is when it's inserted, it gets put down on a layer of resin and talc bog. So that gets sat in there, finds its location and sits for a couple of days just to cure. Once we've done that, we come back through, and under this grey there's a join line which runs about 2 centimetres in from all edges. That gets all spooned out with a sander to give us a bit of a valley, and that gets glassed over. What that does then is it eliminates any chance of cracking on the join line on the outside, and then what we would do then on the inside is also come back through and glass it with some woven rovings, just to give it a bit of more strength on the inside as well. From then onwards, once you've got the glass join through there and glass behind, it's just all detail. So what we then do is we'll come back over and flow coat the join. That seals off all the pores and basically fills all the pinholes, sand that back, and then we hit it with this grey primer over the top. Once we've done it with the primer, it gives me an indication of what the boat is going to look like as a finished product. For example, I can see up on top here that the finish isn't so great, so I can now come back through and detail that better before we look at doing a final priming paint. What we've also done, so I'll move over here, is we've inserted this fuel filler which I was talking about before. So basically what was involved is we made a wooden pattern and a part, and then we trimmed out the depth through there and inserted it in, and then it's been glassed from behind and also glassed on the joint on the inside here. You can see here it's got quite a bit of filler here to try and make detail easier later on. There was a number of holes which have also been filled up. They also get glass from behind as well to make sure they don't crack. The basic procedure of a transom is quite simple, but we must remember that there's a lot of processes involved to ensure that there is no cracking at a later stage. That's what takes a length of time, is the fact that you can only do so much each day, then it has to cure. So we're at a stage now where it's all detail and on the homeward stretch, you might say, with the transom. What we'll do now is we'll pop in and have a look at the fuel tank and see what we've done there. Okay, so this is the fuel tank area. So basically what you can see, what we've done here is we've removed the middle stringer. Well, actually didn't remove, cut down the middle stringer to about that high. We'll put a false floor in and put a bulkhead down the back, and some baffles along the side and a baffle along the back there. and that's given us a good location here for our poly tank to go in. This poly tank here we bought from Saint Marine, excellent tank manufacturers, and happen to have one that fitted perfectly for this application. So we've flow coated that off on the inside just to seal it off. As you can see, the reason why we put the fuel filler insert into the well area is because the filler here is on the right hand side, whereas the old filler used to be on the left hand side, so it just makes for easier use at a later stage. Basically now, in this area here, all we have left to do is the floor. So we'll look at moving on to the floor in the next couple of days, and also we need to have a look at finishing off the side pockets as well, so we'll get them glassed in too before we look at doing the floor. Underneath here, the only other difference really is the fact now that they have a well down the back here where they can locate a bilge pump, which they didn't have before. It just makes for a bit more higher level of safety, and all we need to do now is just finish off some glassing around the back of the transom, and we'll do that when we put the floor in. What we'll do now is I'll give you some close-up footage of what the tank looks like, and we'll have a look at the dash. Okay, so next along is the dash. So basically what we had is we had some holes locating the old steering gauges. What's going in the back of this is a new Yamaha, so they want to have new locations for their instruments and also for their control column. So what we did is we went through and filled all the holes. As you can see, the finish over the top at the moment is with one of our fill and stand high fill primers that we get from PPG. It does an excellent job in filling in pinholes, so that's a good base coat anyway for us before we do a final coat. What we do generally with holes like this, through this section here is wood. So wood will replace the holes, fill the holes with wood to ensure that the substance stays the same and the same strength all the way through. Generally what happens is we have to cut the wood to suit the hole, that gets bogged in, and then we spoon out around the hole and that gets glassed over. What you will see later on is I'll show you some footage on the other side of the dash, and it'll make what I'm telling you now a little bit clearer. What we generally like to do then is once we've spooned out, glass over the top, same procedure as what we did explain on the transom, is then I'll come back over this area with a flow coat to seal it off, and also fill in the pinholes. That gets sanded back, and then we go with the high fill, the fill and sand over the top. That will get sanded back now. Then we'll pinholes get filled again, get another prime on top of that again, and then we'll look at doing a final coat. With this boat here, just because of the age of the hull, it does make it a little bit more difficult to match this colour. So what we might do is we might do the dash area just in a light grey, non-reflective 2-pack paint, and that way you're better off going a little bit different than trying to go like for like. It just looks a little bit silly sometimes. So just a little bit different won't stand out as much. So we'll go for that with the dash. I'll show you some footage from behind, and you can have a look at what I've done here. Like I said before, the next stage is the floor, so we'll put that down and we'll look at doing the side pockets, and we'll keep you updated. And thank you for watching.